Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome to your Soul Service Astrology update for the 29th of November, the week commencing the 29th of November 2021. I'm Kel Gunter. I am a 13 sign sidereal astrologer, and I'm also the creator of Soul Service Astrology. Soul Service Astrology is a method that allows you to transform to your innate and unique alchemy. So it is really a very transformative process, but in the same vein, not only does it transform you, it transforms you also into an astrologer so that then you can serve others. You basically get really, really, really in tune with your strengths and your challenges. You can then step into your vision and your mission, who you serve, what you do, the mastery, your expertise, your zone of genius, and then you can start bringing that through in your life and your service. It becomes a practice for yourself, but it's also a practice that you can gift to others and share with others and help them unlock the keys to their unique celestial alchemy. So that's Soul Service Astrology. I train astrologers in that technique, and it's currently open for enrollment. So if you're interested in becoming an astrologer, in particular the Soul Service Astrology way, then please send me a message and we can chat. What is 13 sign sidereal astrology? Essentially, it's astrology attuned with astronomy. It matches what you can see in the sky. And you're probably thinking, well, hang on a minute, doesn't all astrology do that? No, it doesn't. Modern, Western, tropical astrology does not match what you can see in the sky. It is merely a planetary and zodiacal way of describing the Northern Hemisphere seasons, which for me, scientist Kelly doesn't really vibe in so much with. When astrology was started to be written down, like prior to that, it was constructed in stone monuments, earth monuments, it was etched in cavings, it was etched on bones. That's how there's previous recordings of astrology and astronomy. That's called archaeoastronomy. Whereas once we had developed writing, and I'm saying the Babylonians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, they started writing, there's better records. And they were looking at their environment. They were looking at the seasons, they were looking at what the environment was doing, they were looking at the moving stars in relation to the fixed stars. And that's called astronomy, and they were divining meaning from it. So astronomy and astrology were born together, and they can support and feed each other. All right, enough about that. Let's have a look at what's happening this week. This week, I'm really excited about this week. I looked at this week, and I looked at the aspects and what's happening this week. And I just want you for a minute, before you listen to the logical and the analytical information I'm going to share with you, I just want you to step into the excitement that I have at the moment. This week, we get to heal. This week, we get to step into ourselves as a beacon. We get to step into our intuition at a higher level through our own healing. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more to you as I progress. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, the screen I want is not there. Bear with me. There's the screen I want. Sharing that screen. Excellent. So you should see Monday's chart. So we kicked Monday off with a beautiful aspect, I'm going to say beautiful aspect, between Neptune and Mars. Neptune is our beacon. So think of yourself as a lighthouse. I love this analogy. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. Or I have also likened myself to an Angophoricastata, which is the Sydney red gum. It is this magnificent tree that grows prolifically in the area in which I live. They can be massive, right? Just like a lighthouse needs to be massive. So if we go back to the lighthouse analogy with the beacon, a lighthouse gets positioned there and it shines its light. It just shines. It doesn't run around showing everyone its light. It just stays in one spot and it shines. Similar to the Angophoricastata, it positions itself in a position and it grows. Sometimes it loses a limb. I have seen one cracked completely in half, but it still regrows. And it just is. That's where the tree grows. That's where it's going to experience. That's where it's going to transform itself into this beautiful, massive tree. Similar with the lighthouse, we shine our light. That's the beacon. We understand at a very subconscious level, somewhere in your subconscious, somewhere in your consciousness. I just want you to go there for a minute and to embrace yourself as part of everything. As part of the tree, as part of the bee, as part of the celery that you eat, as part of the hugs you have with your children, as a part of the hugs and the kisses and the love that you have with your partner. And as part of the collective whole, I want us to start embracing this energy of the beacon, of a beautiful, magnificent tree, that we come back into this interconnectedness, because I want you to feel this excitement that I'm expressing here this week. We have an opportunity to heal an aspect of ourselves, to heal it ourselves, that is your power, and then shine our light to start to program a different reality for yourself and for the world. And my God, the world needs it. We need to start programming something different than what we're seeing at the moment, don't we? So with that in mind, trine energy is ease energy. There is an ease for you to get things done, for you to start to act in relation to the causes that you want to bring harmony and balance to. So let's look at this at more of a collective level. There really is separation happening between people who want to be vaccinated and people who don't. There's a lot of fear being expressed around the world. There's a lot of mandates and things like that. And that it's a separation point. This is where we are in history. There's been multiple separation points, and we are at another one. And what I'm asking you to do is to not separate, is to see that you are part of this, but you have all the power to change it. You are part of the problem and you're part of the solution. I know that's shitty to say it, isn't it? I'm part of the problem. I have created this problem that I can see in front of my eyes, but I have the solution. And the solution is to keep taking action in relation to the causes close to your heart, to keep coming back into balance and harmony with beauty and love and connection, all those Libran things, and to just simply shine your light. Make sure your light is pure and clean and loving, and then just shine it. So that's the energy we're stepping into this week from Monday. So then if we shift to Tuesday, the next aspect that starts to amplify the energy of the trine between Neptune and Mars, and that Neptune-Mars transit lasts a couple of days. It's not just a flash in the pan. You might be able to feel that energy building prior to Monday. The next one is the trine between Chiron and the conjunction between the Sun and Mercury. Now, the Sun and Mercury hang out together all the time because, of course, Mercury is very close to the Sun. So that's not overly significant. What is significant, though, is the trine with Chiron. So Chiron is again in the sign of Pisces. So Pisces is our mystical nature. Pisces is the essence of us knowing somewhere deep in your subconscious, you know you are part of it all. You are part of everything. You are a deeply ecologically connected being to this planet. This planet created you. This solar system created you. So you are deeply wedded to the planet, deeply wedded to the solar system. And there is something greater here at play. And for the longest time, our culture and society have been kind of ignoring it. And we've been bumbling down this path, and I'm talking Western society predominantly, bumbling down this path, and we've come to this junction. It's like, holy shit, what is going on here? This is not what I dialed up. This is not what I want. This is our healing point. You get to decide to heal yourself this week. So you step into that really Pisces energy, what I mentioned before. You embrace your beacon nature. You embrace your mystical nature. You embrace the element of spirit. Without the human spirit, without human connection, without human healing and support and nurturing, we're all dead. It's the fifth element. There have been studies that shown that orphans that don't get human loves and hugs die a lot earlier than other people do. Isn't that horrific? That's horrific. So Chiron is a key to our healing. And I just want to make mention here, you have healed yourself. Look back in your past. You have healed yourself. It could be small, it could be big. I want you to connect with that and heal the thing that you want to heal this week. There will be something triggering you. If you're like, I don't know what I need to heal, get quiet. Down here, Mercury and the Sun in Scorpio, get quiet. Go to water. These Pisces and Scorpio are water elemental signs. Get quiet. Let your mind get quiet. That's what I've been practicing the last 2 weeks. My yoga practice has changed substantially. It doesn't really include much asana at the moment because I have a couple of injuries. So I've been predominantly doing chanting, breathing, and meditation. And my mind has got quieter. And then I can hear the triggers. I can hear my subconscious. This is what Scorpio is all about. Listening to our subconscious and letting it feed our healing. This is easier to do this week. So if there's one thing I want you to embrace this week, embrace your spiritual nature, embrace your power that you can heal anything that it is that you want to heal. Listen to anything that triggers you and sit with it and listen to it. And then heal yourself because you have the power to do that. Now, this should be easy this week because it's trine energy. So it's easy. Now, you might hear that I feel so excited because there's this mounting energy towards the back end of the week. And even though the weeks are just like made up, humans made up this time system that we live in, there is this mounting energy throughout the week towards the end of the week. And it involves Scorpio, which is why I implore you to look into your subconscious, listen to your ego, and then divine with that spiritual nature of yours, whether that is ego that needs to stay or ego that needs to go. So we're being called to look at our shadow selves. Look at the shadow. It's not scary because once you shine a light, once you shine your light, once you put your beacon in there, put your lighthouse into the dark waters, it's not dark anymore. And without the shadow, without the light, we don't have the shadow. And without the shadow, we don't have the light. So we have to have both. If we move into Wednesday, 1st of December, it's been a long time coming, but Neptune is finally going direct. Neptune has been traveling backwards for quite a while, and I really feel like in a collective perspective, it's probably been us sort of grappling and struggling with this idea of our spirituality and how it's evolving and how it's changing and how we're actually embracing it more. And I was talking with a client this week. You can embrace your spiritual side. You can embrace your mystical nature. You can embrace all those things that the mainstream tells you is bullshit and still accept all the things that science tells us. You get to do both because we are evolving. We are consciousness evolving. We are human bodies evolving. We have always done, and we have always used previous history and information that we've learnt to continue evolving. Now, what happened was we were very cosmologically connected historically and in ancient times. And then we came and we said, well, the reasoning mind, logic, science, oh, that's the way to go. And we've kind of gone down that pathway a little bit too far, maybe. And there's lots of people going, well, what about all that other stuff that we used to do? What was so bad about that? There's nothing. We are both. We are all of it. So it's starting to embrace what we've learnt using the reasoning mind, using science, using logic and analytical processes, but also now coming back and embracing our mystical nature. And they get to operate together. And as Neptune, the beacon, is in its home sign for the next many years, we as a culture and a society are going to step back more into our spiritual and mystical nature. And I'll make a slight suggestion that science and technology will start to support some of the findings that ancient civilizations already knew. And that can support us. It can help us step more into coming back to this ecological being that we are, helping improve and restore and regenerate the health of the planet, because that's what we need to do so that we can survive, so that we can continue living and flourishing and our consciousness evolving. So that is Neptune direct in Pisces on Wednesday, the 1st of December. So let's move. There's nothing additional on Thursday, the 2nd. Let's move into the 3rd of December. That's Friday. And there's a little transit here that leads really nicely into the solar eclipse new moon that's going to happen on Friday and over the weekend. So that's the building energy. We've had this building energy with Pisces and Neptune and Chiron, very watery energy. If you need any healing or support, use water. Go and listen to the element of water and let it advise you how it can support and help you and your emotions and your feelings, and for you to step more into a spiritual nature. That is a tangent. This aspect leading up until the solar eclipse new moon is really a little fire and kick up the pants from Mars, that your emotions can get juiced up and fueled to keep going. So when we start accessing our subconscious, it might feel murky and heavy and, oh my God, I'm still having to do this. Oh, I thought I healed that. Oh my God, why is that still triggering me? A trigger is really just an opportunity to ascend. A trigger is really an opportunity to just look at yourself. It's to become aware of yourself if you're triggered by something. And look, this does take practice. I'm not going to lie. So if you are triggered by things and they bring up stuff for you and you need additional support, then you go and get additional support. And I'm talking about counselors and psychoanalysts and psychologists and all sorts of support to help you if you go into a really, really dark place. Certainly not suggesting that you just listen to me in astrology. And that's where we get to use the things that we've learnt, right? Because we know some of those modalities really assist humans in dealing with our subconscious. So this little aspect on Friday gives us a little bit of emotional juice. It gives us some energy, some action and focus. I get to use my feelings in a very active way. They can drive and fuel my passion towards the causes that are so aligned with me. It's a very Libran energy. Librans aren't necessarily very warrior-like, but they very much want to see harmony. They're the advocates. They want diplomacy and harmony. But with Mars there, sometimes they need a bit of a kick up the pants, like our emotions just need a little bit of fuel. It's okay, you can keep holding this big emotion and you can keep going. So it's a bit of warrior energy for our moon energy to keep us going towards the causes that we want to bring change to. So that's Friday. And now we get to the weekend and we get a beautiful, let's have a look exactly when the new moon hits. It's an exact conjunction with the Sun and the Moon in Scorpio, and it's opposite the North Node, so it would be conjunct the South Node, so it's a solar eclipse. So that's on the 4th of December at 7 p.m. Now that's Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So let's have a look at what's happening there. First of all, it's a solar eclipse, which means the moon will move in front of the sun. So the moon, our emotions, our feelings are moving in front of the sun and saying, I'm asserting the fact that you need to embrace me as part of your solar purpose. We are here together, the sun and the moon. Our purpose and our passion and our brilliant, bright sun and personality and identity shining out has emotions and feelings behind that. We're not repressing them. We're not hiding them anymore. They are part of us, and they are equally as valid as the external parts of us that people see. On a new moon, it's setting new intentions towards shining and being the creator within our life and expressing ourselves while being absolutely positively fueled by our power. And being fueled by very clear power that we have the ability to go in and look at our shadow. We have the ability to go and look at our subconscious while still shining brightly. So we get to be both. And it's the same as you can be letting go and receiving. You can be grieving and loving. And this is this same theme of this ending of separation. It's okay to be shining and expressing and authentic and be driven by purpose and putting your creativity out there, all the while you might be dealing with healing and things that have triggered you. Set the intention that you get to walk with both. Set the intention that it's perfectly okay for the creator at times to take time out and to look at themselves, to look at the ego, to look at their subconscious and make sure that they are really in their power and it's not ego-held beliefs that are programming what they're shining out there. So this is the whole dark versus light. It's not dark versus light, it's dark and light together. And this is our spiritual nature. This is our stamina. This is our intensity. This is really what allows us to be both human and divine. And this will allow you to heal. This is a process that I'm describing to allow you to heal. And it's almost like feel into setting the intention on the new moon around, I am committed to listening to my subconscious. I'm committed to listening to anything that triggers me and going in and dealing with it and not letting it then control any further past points in my life. I just mumbled over that, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. So this whole week, we have this wonderful opportunity to step into our spiritual and mystical nature, to heal anything that triggers or bothers us or feels uncomfortable, for us to go in and look at our feelings and emotions and our subconscious and start to set intentions around that we can both be the creator and expressive and authentic and shining as the beacon, Neptune as the beacon, deeply interconnected to everything, and we continue to be healing and journeying with the changes that occur within the collective, our community and ourselves. So it's riding the waves. We're riding waves. Sometimes the waves are calm and sometimes the waves are crazy. Now, this new moon, even though you can't see it here, I wonder if, yes, there we can see that this new moon is also trine Chiron. And that's why I feel it's important and it's easeful around, it's a beautiful time to commit to your healing. And once we commit to that healing, and that healing is part of our spiritual and mystical nature, we step into a part of Chiron which is more stepping into our alchemy. Rather than being wounded, rather than being, oh, I'm healing and I'm doing the work and I'm just going through the motions to realize that I'm healing a wound, because we all have wounds, right? We all have baggage. Once you realize that you get to be fully human and fully divine and fully healing all the time, that's when you start stepping into your alchemical nature. You also start stepping into your alchemical nature when you realize anything that you have overcome is something that you can then share with others to help them overcome. You have learnt things that could be shared to help others. And that's the whole premise of the lighthouse standing there shining their light. And it's fed by our alchemy, it's fed by our healing, it's fed by the fact that we have the power and intensity to look at the shadow and not be afraid of it and know that we can heal anything that is there. And then, as you can see, Mercury is stepping into Ophiuchus on the weekend as well. I'll just change this back to days. It steps into Ophiuchus on the new moon and into Sunday. So Mercury is our mind. Mercury is our story. Mercury is our teacher and our student. So you can hear all those things. It's communication, it's learning, it's knowledge, it's things that are written, it's things that are spoken. as it steps into Ophiuchus, now is the time that you could start sharing your story, and that might be a part of your healing. After this week, you may feel the need to speak and share or write and share as part of your healing. You step into a form of vulnerability that activates aspects of you that start to transmute any pain or suffering that you're feeling into a deep held power and spiritual stamina that you never knew existed within you. So that is the week of the 29th of November. I'm extremely excited for this week, and I'm just going to turn my phone off. Thank you, phone, right at the end of the YouTube. Thankfully, that was right at the end of the YouTube. Thanks very much for listening. If you would like to work with me in any capacity, you can go to my website, kellygunter.com, and there are a number of avenues that you can work with me, both free, low cost, and paid. That's it from me today. Have a glorious week. Goodbye.